Today's video, we will explore the major themes found within the Book of Enoch and how these themes connect to or diverge from biblical teachings. We'll also explore the theological implications of its content and how these ideas may have shaped Second Temple Judaism and early Christianity. The Book of Enoch contains several key theological and cosmological themes that were deeply influential, especially in apocalyptic literature. The most dominant and discussed theme is the rebellion of the Watchers and the consequences of their actions on humanity. According to the Book of Enoch, a group of 200 angels called the Watchers descended to earth on Mount Hermon and made a pact to take human wives. This story is found in the Book of the Watchers, which comprises chapters 1 through 36. The Watchers, led by a figure named Semjaza, introduced forbidden knowledge to mankind. They taught humanity sorcery, astrology, the art of war, the use of cosmetics, and other skills that, according to the text, led to moral corruption and violence. Their union with human women produced giant offspring known as the Nephilim, who devoured everything in sight and ultimately turned on mankind. God, in response to the corruption, sentenced the Watchers to eternal punishment, binding them under the earth until the day of final judgment. This narrative expands on the brief and cryptic account found in Genesis chapter 6, verses 1 through 4. This theme of celestial rebellion introduces one of the foundational concepts of evil in the Book of Enoch. Evil is not only a human failing, but originates in the heavenly realm through angelic beings who defy God's order. This concept would later influence Christian interpretations of Satan, demons, and spiritual warfare. The New Testament's emphasis on spiritual forces of evil, such as in Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12, echoes the idea that there is a cosmic battle beyond the human realm. Another critical theme is divine judgment. The Book of Enoch stresses that both heavenly beings and humans are subject to God's judgment. The Watchers are punished severely, and their children, the Nephilim, are destroyed in the flood. Humanity is also judged, and the flood becomes a reset for creation. The Book of Enoch continuously points forward to a day when God will judge all beings, including kings, sinners, and the elect. This future judgment is not only punitive, but redemptive. It brings justice and vindication to the righteous. The concept of the Son of Man is central in the parables of Enoch, found in chapters 37 through 71. This figure is portrayed as a heavenly being chosen by God to bring judgment and to rule over creation in righteousness. He is described as pre-existent, full of wisdom, and sitting beside the throne of God. Enoch sees visions of this Son of Man, who will one day judge the kings of the earth, destroy the wicked, and reign forever with the righteous. This vision of the Son of Man strongly parallels New Testament descriptions of Jesus Christ. In the Gospels, Jesus frequently refers to himself as the Son of Man, and in Revelation, the imagery of a glorified, pre-existent Son of Man, who comes in power to judge the world, closely matches what is described in Enoch. This has led many scholars to believe that early Christians, including Jesus and his followers, were familiar with Enochian imagery and borrowed its terms to express messianic expectations. Jesus himself made a prophetic statement in Matthew chapter 24, verse 37, that reads, "As were the days of Noah, so will be the coming of the Son of Man." This statement connects directly to the time period described in the Book of Enoch. The days of Noah, as outlined in Genesis and expanded in Enoch, were marked by corruption, violence, and forbidden knowledge introduced by fallen angels. Jesus' warning that the end times would mirror the days of Noah draws attention to the spiritual condition of the world before judgment and highlights the relevance of Enoch's descriptions. Today, many believe we are seeing echoes of those ancient days in our modern world. Advancements in artificial intelligence, genetic modification, and transhumanism raise serious ethical and spiritual concerns. Just as the Watchers tampered with human nature by introducing foreign knowledge and producing unnatural offspring, today we are witnessing humanity pushing boundaries that blur the line between creation and creator. Experiments with gene editing, CRISPR technology, and the merging of man with machine may be viewed by some as a modern reenactment of the Watchers' corruption. The idea of playing God, altering human DNA, and creating synthetic life raises theological alarms similar to those in the time of Enoch. Could we be repeating history? Are we opening doors to consequences we cannot control? Just as the ancient world faced divine judgment for its rebellion, many warn that our modern pursuits could bring spiritual or societal consequences if not guided by wisdom and reverence for God. Another powerful theme in the Book of Enoch is the idea of heavenly books and records. In the text, Enoch is shown visions of heaven where books are opened and the deeds of men are recorded. These books will be used in the final judgment to determine the fate of souls. This idea is mirrored in Daniel chapter 7, verse 10, and again in Revelation chapter 20, verse 12, where the book of life is opened and the dead are judged according to what was written in the books. The Book of Enoch also presents a vision of the afterlife that includes multiple levels or realms for souls. The righteous dead are separated from the wicked, and the text suggests a form of conscious existence after death while awaiting the final judgment. This concept diverges from the Sheol of the Old Testament, which was generally viewed as a shadowy, neutral place of the dead. Enoch's depiction of the afterlife is more developed and anticipates Christian beliefs about heaven and hell. In the astronomical book, chapters 72 through 82, Enoch is shown the paths of the heavenly bodies and the laws governing the cosmos. This section is less theological and more scientific in its presentation, though it still has spiritual significance. It presents a divine order in creation and suggests that even the stars and the sun obey God's commands. The detailed calendar and astronomical system in Enoch was likely intended to correct what the writer saw as corruption in the Jewish liturgical calendar. The Book of Dreams, chapters 83 through 90, offers apocalyptic visions of world history using symbolic animals and events. It includes a prophetic retelling of biblical history, from Adam to the Maccabean Revolt. In this section, Enoch sees a vision of a great white bull, representing righteousness, and black sheep, symbolizing those who have gone astray. This visionary history ends with the establishment of God's kingdom and the coming of a new Jerusalem. In the Epistle of Enoch, chapters 9 through 1, the text becomes more didactic. Enoch delivers a series of exhortations, blessings, and warnings. He speaks to the righteous and the wicked, offering hope to the faithful and announcing doom for sinners. This section continues to emphasize judgment, the resurrection of the dead, and the ultimate triumph of the righteous. A unique feature of Enoch's message is its emphasis on knowledge and secrecy. Enoch is portrayed as the one who receives hidden wisdom from God and the angels, and he writes it down for future generations. This concept of revealed knowledge passed from heavenly beings to humans is a recurring theme in apocalyptic literature. It reinforces the idea that true wisdom is divine and must be revealed, not discovered through human reasoning alone. The theological implications of these themes are profound. The Book of Enoch helped bridge the gap between early Jewish beliefs and later Christian doctrine. It introduced detailed angelology, the idea of a messianic Son of Man, a structured afterlife, and an imminent final judgment, all ideas that became central to Christianity. However, some of its teachings also diverge from biblical texts. For example, the heavy emphasis on angelic mediation and elaborate heavenly hierarchies contrasts with the biblical emphasis on God as the sole source of revelation. Similarly, the Book of Enoch's cosmology, with its complex system of heavens and elements, is more speculative and less grounded in canonical scripture. While its moral vision aligns with biblical righteousness, its fascination with secret knowledge led some to question its theological soundness. Despite these concerns, the Book of Enoch played a vital role in shaping Jewish apocalyptic thought. Its influence can be seen in the Dead Sea Scrolls, the writings of early church fathers, and the apocalyptic tone of several New Testament texts. Enoch himself becomes a model of righteousness and divine favor. His journey to heaven, his access to heavenly secrets, and his role as a prophetic voice made him an archetype of the wise man who walks closely with God. In many ways, Enoch's story is the blueprint for later visions of saints, prophets, and even the ascension of Jesus, who also went up into heaven and was exalted. As we close, we see that the Book of Enoch is not just an ancient curiosity, but a lens into how early believers understood the universe, God's justice, and the destiny of humanity. It contains echoes of biblical truth wrapped in dramatic visions and poetic imagery. Whether one views it as inspired or simply influential, its importance in the development of spiritual ideas cannot be denied. If you enjoyed this journey through the Book of Enoch and its themes, make sure to like, subscribe, and drop a comment about what topic or ancient text you'd like to see covered next.